what I hate? I hate whiners, you know? I hate people who just complain. I had a guy in a joint one time, cell next to me, and he used to yap about everything. He used to yap about the food, and yap about the guards, and yap about this, and yap about that, and yap all night long. Fucking yap. Like a fucking 747, you know what I mean? Like an engine stuck right between your ears, and you can't get away from it because he's right next to you, you know what I mean?
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go! 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3! Win!
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Monday Night Uncensored. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. Happy Monday to you, and happy Monday to all of Bills Mafia who's rocking with us tonight. What up, Mikey?
Happy Monday, brother. I'm excited.
Happy Monday to you.
Bills football.
Bro, it's always good times when we're talking Buffalo Bills football,
right?
Unless it's a Buffalo Bills loss. Those are never exciting times. You want to get to the first comment there?
Yeah. Pagula sucks as an owner.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, the most interesting man in the chat is back, Mr. Fulton.
Oh, what's up, brother?
Fulton. He's got some big news today. He got 2 speaking parts on the NBC radio for Annie the Musical and Jimmy Johnson the Dog Catcher.
Oh, shoot, man.
Brother.
Congrats.
That's
awesome, man. I hope that is awesome, man. So good stuff, man. Send me over if you have any clips on my X. You got on my X account.
Yep. Red Furnace in the house. You don't want to mess with me. Tommy and Mikey, long time no see. Jason,
how you doing, Jason?
Been a while. Jason.
Absolutely,
right?
Been a while. Yeah,
like that song, right?
Of course.
Right? New York Jets always always are idiots.
They did make the trade. What do you feel about that trade, real quick, before we move on? Fields to the Chiefs for a six round draft pick. Chiefs are really only paying $3 million. So really, the Jets wound up eating 7 of it.
The rich get richer.
I don't think it's a bad trade at all for the Chiefs.
I
mean,
it's
for a backup, for a
option.
gadget kind of guy too, a backup. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, Andy Reid. If you're going to get the best out of Fields, who's going to do it? Andy fucking Reid, right? Right. So,
Reid, McVay, one of those.
Right.
Shanahan.
Yeah, and honestly, for him as a quarterback, he couldn't have landed in a better situation because maybe he gets some, better teaching, right, from Andy Reid and coaching staff, and maybe you never know.
Maybe a little Patrick Mahomes rubs off on him. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Maybe he gets another kind of a little payday, outside of what he's getting now. But yeah, I mean, Jets overpaid for him, by the way. Yeah, good trade for the Chiefs.
Yeah, But is it just a insurance policy in case Mahomes isn't ready?
It's interesting. It is interesting.
Read into it as maybe Mahomes won't be ready.
Right.
Not for Weston, because he keeps fucking with me with this damn Brandon Beane.
I hope not. That would be an unbelievable pick for you guys.
Let's not talk about losses.
I know.
Right?
I know. Good times here. Only good times, right?
Jason comes back and we instantly talk about losses.
Right. Jeez.
Sandra in the house. What's going on? Monday nights. I'm here every Monday. Although I did pop up last Friday. I just
You did. Yeah, you did.
Jets are always it's getting Geno Smith, bad Geno turnover machine.
Right.
Like, what Geno do you get? Do you get, the New York Giants and the Vegas Raiders Geno, or do you get the Seahawks Geno?
Right. Something tells me they're going to get the bad Geno because it's the Jets. Right? Something tells me it's not going to work out. I don't know why. It could be the Jets. I don't know.
Richie said he's never actually tuned in for the intro. He said,
no.
Makes me want to run through a wall. I know, right?
Oh, you don't like my intro?
No, he loves your intro. He's just never seen it before.
Okay. Oh, right.
Wall gets them all hyped.
I was about to hit him with it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan.
Okay.
Like, I get home, I'm tired. Usually when me and Tommy were talking before, I hear that intro and it gets me hyped up, ready for the show.
Yeah, dude. We do. I gotta work on probably updating the players on it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work though, Mikey.
Reggie,
yeah,
and a few other
for the season, it has to sync up with the audio to make sense. That's the hard part, and then obviously copyright is another. Like it's guys, it takes hours to do a 1 minute intro, right? So, but I'll get to it. I got time.
I don't want Skip Bayless talking about the Bills at all. Keep them out your mouth.
Right. Deal with your Cowboys.
Right. I think the Chiefs and Jets are always taking each other rejects. J Ham in the house.
What up?
Ruben Banner, Carnell Tate. No.
Weston's fucking with you tonight, boy.
He always is. Every show, that's what he puts in there. Every time I'm on.
Well,
we know no matter who I choose, that I want the Bills to take, it's not going to happen. So
it never does work that. But you know what? It could actually finally change. You never know. I'm just saying it could. I'll tell you what. If it does, let's say hypothetically, the draft comes around, you have your draft board, the guys you like, and even if they get one, I always say one, guys, when you do a mock draft and you get one right, that's incredible, because it's tough on these mock drafts for any team, right? Unless you got a number one pick like the Raiders, right? They're going with Mendoza, right? But outside of that, when you get into the late of a round, you have no idea. We're just kind of guessing here. And boy, I'll tell you, if they get one right on your list, Mikey, they're heading in the right direction, huh?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but if Keon went to the Chiefs, Andy Reid would find a way to use him right, and he'd be freaking an all-pro somewhere.
Absolutely. Or any team with an offensive-minded coach that can.
Not any team.
Well, McVay. I think McVay would have known how to use him. I think Ben Johnson would have found a role for him. A role. That doesn't mean greatness. It doesn't mean he would be this awesome player, but Reed found roles for Hardman, for MVS. Like, he made something out of them, right? They left and they weren't really what they were, but they went back and they were, once again, guys that did something particularly well. So I think Keon would have done something in the offense, right? Productive wise, but we'll see what happens this year. This is last opportunity, though.
What I was saying is I just think Andy Reid will find a way to show up the Buffalo Bills, because he always does.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's always a thing, but yeah.
J-Ham said you guys were going bar for bar against your boys over at Triple P, and Keys wasn't there to back him up.
With Aramis and me tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you bring that up, because I did want to talk to you about that. So, Keys is in the building. The next comment, actually.
Oh,
Keys and me tonight, by the way, because we were talking through on X, and man, me and Keys were like on the same page. It's been a while for me and him. We're like, whoa, you agree? I agree. Holy shit, what's going on? But so I wanted your opinion on this. So me and Aramis, by the way, we had like an hour talk over the weekend about Brandon Beane. I mean, it was long. It had to finally come to a standstill where it's like, yeah, it was like agree to disagree. He hates him, right? But anyways,
A lot of people do.
you know, yeah, a lot of people do. But he got on this thing about where he doesn't feel it's the defense's problem throughout all the time here, except for 2021. And here's my thought about this, and I want your thought on this. When a head coach for any team, Mikey, right, is hired by the owner, normally that coach has experience on one side of the ball or the other, right? Offense, he's an offensive specialist or a defensive specialist. He's been usually a guy that's been in the league a little while most of the time, right? They have some experience or a lot of experience on that side of the ball, right? So if you hire a defensive coach, right, as an owner, what are you expecting, Mikey? You're expecting your team to have a good defense, right? For this coach who is known to be a guru, mind you, McDermott had a name out there, right? And he was flaunting. He even know he was cocky. He knows the McDermott defense. Okay, to me, and then as a fan, me and you, we go, okay, who'd they hire? I never heard of this guy, McDermott. What does he do well? Well, he's a defensive coach, came out of the Philly system, and he coached really well with the defense corner so we're expecting this defense to be good at some point. It was okay to start, good to start, okay, and got worse through the years. I don't care how the defense played in some particular games. I expect, just like if we had an offensive-minded head coach, because he brought up the point that look at the Rams, look at the Chicago and all, and I said, well, they're offensive-minded head coach. Right? So, of course, they don't care about their defense because why, Mikey? They know their offense is going to put up points. That's what they do, right? They're not specialty is defense, right? So you expect it. So what do we expect, Mikey, for our defense in these games to be playing at a high level like the offense would be if you have an offense? So that's my point when it came to McDermott and why I feel the defense let us down through all these years, because I expected more, because we had a defensive-minded head coach. And by year 9, you expect when you get in the playoffs that your team doesn't give up 30 points, correct? Now, if we had an offensive-minded head coach, right, let's say McVay, right? Let's say for the Rams, right? The Rams and Seahawks went toe-to-toe, right? Right? Okay. Points, right? At the end of the day, it wasn't defense, right? But both teams had good offense, so they could do that. They could afford to do that. They can afford to give up points because they know their offense is playing at a high level, right? They're going to put up 40-something points. Our offense never was really like that, or maybe early on in 2020, 2021, under who? Brian Dable, right? Once Dable left and he went to this totally different, did the defense change, Mikey? Or did the defense keep giving up a shit ton of points in the playoffs? It never stopped. Okay, so that's my point. The defense never allowed 17 points per game in the and in the playoffs where we can go, you know what, Mikey? Yeah, maybe it was the offense that let us down, right? The defense only allowed 17 a game, right? 18 a game. You know what I mean? So to me, when I go back and I look at every playoff loss, for the most part, the defense wound up giving up a ton of points. That's how I see it. And if you have a coach that's what he specializes in, I expect those results. Period.
Okay. So I don't disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
There are takes to this.
Sure.
One is, did the offense have a ball at the end of the game to try to win? Yes. And guys didn't come up big. We still scored 30, high 20s, low 30s on offense. My issue wasn't even overall, because during the regular season, McDermott had a really good defense. My issue is through the first quarter, it's usually soft zone. They get they give up a few points, and then he makes his adjustments at halftime. Third quarter, we get all the way back. We're killing it. Early fourth quarter, we're killing it. The second we get that lead, he flips that switch right back to that soft zone. He goes away from what was working that got us back into this game and got us a lead. And that his inability for that killer instinct was the biggest problem I had with McDermott. You look at the elite defenses, right? The Texans, defensive-minded head coach. Vrabel, defensive-minded head coach. You could go through Harbaugh, for a long time had a bunch of head coaches that were defensive-minded that left him to go there. Like when you start looking at how that's built, McDonald with Seattle, defensive-minded head coach.
Right.
None of those guys gave up a bunch of 30s. McDonald gave up 30 one time, and that was against the Rams.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean, outside of that,
yeah.
It's just I'm with you on that. Like here's my issue. Even on top of that, everyone says, "Oh, I hate Beane. Beane didn't get the players." Who do you think Beane's getting players for? The head coach.
Right.
He's getting guys that the head coach wants to put into a system.
Right.
CJ Gardner-Johnson is the perfect example. That's never a player that McDermott would have taken. And it's not from an attitude perspective, but it's from a play style perspective because he's a freelancer. McDermott will never play a freelancer.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, when you look at the losses, though, Mikey, right? Mm-hmm. In 2021, we gave up 38 points, bro. 38. Like,
yeah, I get it.
You're not like, so you like, if we had an offensive minded head coach, right? Let's just say hypothetically McVay. Okay, fine. Maybe we win that game 40-38. And I can accept that. You know what I mean? Okay, we have an offense. Like, that's what we do, right? We don't have we have this offensive-minded head coach. Defense not so hot, but we're going to stay in the game because our offense is that high, right? That they're playing that high, right? High-level offense, right? But, my thing is this. If McDermott was this defensive guru, why didn't he just concentrate on the offense, get the offense right, and just like Belichick, who made players better because it fit his scheme, because players just tend to play at a higher level under a defensive guru because of the scheme, because whatever. McDermott never got that, right? We kept spending money on defense,
and
right?
That's the big thing. As John says, the whole argument is keeping because McDermott made chicken shit out of chicken salad out of chicken shit. Well, guess what? The chicken shit was his ingredients.
Right.
Beane didn't be like, oh, I'm going to get this guy and give him to you. Like, what are we talking about here?
Right.
And every year we would spend and spend and spend. Everyone's like, oh, well, I hated that extension. You think Beane went, I don't care what McDermott says. I'm going to give this guy a big extension.
Yep. Like, matter of fact, Mike, to even up that one, we lost in 2020 to the Chiefs, right? And in the wild card game, right? What was that score in that game? That was 38-24. They smoked us. Remember that AFC Championship game? So what did we do? What did we wind up doing like a couple years later, right? When we lost again, we got Von Miller, right? Because remember, the whole thing was to beat the Chiefs. It wasn't even about anyone else but the Chiefs. And what was the reasoning? It wasn't, we got to get better on offense. We
couldn't get to the quarterback.
Right. But my point was, it wasn't,
we couldn't get to the
quarterback.
It
was defense, right? It was exactly my point. It wasn't about scoring. It was, how can we get to Mahomes? How can we stop them? Did it ever happen? Did it ever work? No. And look, and me and Keys were talking about this too. When we talk about Brandon Beane or any GM in the NFL, listen, it goes hand in hand with the coaching staff. The GM's responsible. And I told you guys this a million times. The owner, the GM, and the head coach, it's a chain. It's a link. If something's broken, you have a dumpster fire on your hand, like the Jets, like the Dolphins, all these teams, the Browns, that have a disconnect between the coach and the GM, right? And the owner and what they,
or the owners,
right?
yes.
Or the owner, what they want, players, the kind of players they want here. And there was never a disconnect here for a while, right? Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott were on the same page. Sean McDermott told him, this is what I want. I'm telling you guys, and this is like this on every successful team, right? Their GMs goes out and gets the ingredients, and the coaches are heavily involved, including the staff, right? So yes, you got to credit and some to the GM and some to the coaching staff if things go right, and so if they go wrong, you have to also look at the other side, right? And go, okay, it's the coaching staff as well as the GM. And that's why I keep telling you guys that you can't keep pointing the finger at Brandon Beane for these stuff this whole time. Because it just that's not how it works, guys, right? Beane never went rogue and just decided to draft who he wanted to draft.
Outside of releasing Jamarcus Ingram.
Right. That was the only time. Yeah. Pissed them off. I think last year they did. I think, okay, I'll take that back. Last year, Mikey, I would say there was starting to be a disconnect. And you know what's funny, and I've talked about Keys about this as well. I honestly think McDermott didn't see this coming because he was hired here first, right? He brought in Beane, right? I don't think he felt that that this was going to happen, right? Like, and ultimately it backfired on him. So, look, man, I do. That's why I keep telling you guys, I expect a different free agency, and I think we've seen it so far. I expect a different draft, and we'll see. Right, time will tell. So, that's my point about the whole McDermott thing, the whole Beane thing, the drafting thing, and yes, you got to give credit to coaching staff as well when things go right, but when things go wrong, you can't just point the finger at one guy either.
Jay Ham says it right here. When you're converting on 4th and 13s and 4th and 17s, hard to call you a defensive guru. If you're allowing 4th and 13s and 4th and 17s.
Right.
And if your issue is you didn't have the dogs, that's on you too.
Right.
Because you're picking the groceries. You had control of the 53.
Right. Yeah. And it's also scheme. And I believe that too. And that's another thing why me and Mikey are saying we're very excited about this upcoming season, because there is players here that we feel can play at a higher level on maybe a different type of scheme. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon. Right. I felt like McDermott's scheme was broken for a little while now, and he just was unwilling to change.
A while?
Yeah, a while. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm being nice tonight. A little while. A while. And you know how I knew it, especially Mikey, when you got coaches and players coming out on, getting interviewed saying, yeah, they did nothing different. Like everything we've seen on film is exactly what we got. You can't be that way as a coach, as a defensive. You have to play your cards differently versus every opponent brings something different, right? You need to adjust to that. You have to practice for the week. What do they do well? I felt like McDermott was just so stuck in his ways, especially in the playoffs, and it just backfired every single time against better offenses, right? And that's ultimately why I feel like the defense is what failed us.
Electro T. Yeah, right here. It says, my only reason I'm mad is because we gave McDermott 9 seasons. And although he did bring us a long way, he just couldn't get us over the hump.
Right. Yeah. And it might have set us back by waiting that long.
The biggest moments. And listen, the majority of the early failures were on him. Some of the later failures were on the players. But the players are players he chose, so he has to take the bullet for it.
Absolutely.
What's going on, Beth?
How you doing, Beth?
Did you know? Yep, we went through that one. 100% agreed. Bernard nor Greg R shouldn't have gotten extended. Rousseau should have gotten extended.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Rousseau, Groot. I think
Bernard, I would agree with you. I thought he was an undersized linebacker to start. Yeah.
And he had injuries early on. Yeah. And he's same with Milano, where he has early injuries. Because they're small. Yeah, and they're out of position. To be honest with you, out of position. Mm-hmm. It's just that was a mistake. Groot, to be honest with you guys, listen, man. Groot is still young. He's still young. He's very athletic, and he's one of the best edge run defenders in the NFL. Matter of fact, I think he ranked first.
They want him to be.
I know, a sack guy, only sack guy.
Well, we're about to find out if it's a Groot issue or if it was a scheme issue, because
true, yeah.
He's gonna be unleashed this year to be aggressive. Now, if he doesn't get it, and that's just who he is, then okay.
Then we can live with that. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're about to find out if the scheme held us back. And I have a hard time saying the scheme didn't, because after Kyle Williams retired, you stopped seeing any games up front. It was a 4-man compressed the pocket rush, and that was pretty much it.
Right, which just didn't work. It just didn't work. By the way, and Ed Oliver is not the biggest defensive lineman in the world either.
And he refused to get a one tech that could be a middle clogger, so his tiny linebackers got washed out.
Yeah, yep. And when they did, they were just a shell of themselves. Star Lotulelei gave us one good season, and that was a wrap. You know what I mean? Like we never went through the draft to get a true nose, a one tech ever. Never. Didn't want. That wasn't what his scheme is all about. So wasn't going to happen, regardless of being 1-1 or not. unless he went rogue.
Yep, which I'll be honest, I'm not overly fond of how they're building this team either up front. Like, there's been a lot of big boys out front. And we still don't got one.
And they're sitting out there. Yeah, and they got picked off.
Billings got picked off today.
Oh, did he?
At what point are we going to go get our big...
The Lions guy is out there. What was his name? He would be a kind of a cheap signing. Remember, I brung him up to you. Then a little bit older, on the older side, but he would...
DJ Reed.
Yeah. But you know what? I would take him as a vet. You know what I mean? And you draft one. I think we got a super chat real quick. Let me hit that real quick, and then we'll get to the rest.
Okay.
Let's get ahead and hit that train horn. Every super chat, you know, with the deal on there. Appreciate you, Richie. Bill's going 14-3. Gut feeling, can't explain it. Hey,
yeah.
When I hate it.
No. You know, Cato thinks he saw it coming. He changed his philosophy. I mean, he did start talking in the media, unlike he'd ever done before. So maybe he did feel it, and he thought going to the media would help him. Yeah,
there was definitely tension brewing between. It's funny because I think the tension was initially with coaching staff. And some players, you know what I mean? But I think it built up to go to Brandon Beane. You know what I mean? Where there was a disconnect there. And who knows?
I love this response by Keys. He said, I'm telling you, 2024 Beane and Brady got together and said, F this dude. How do we get this guy out?
What's the plan? What's the plan, Joe?
Enough of this clown. We gotta do something.
Is this the offense you really want to run?
Really, this is what we're doing? Okay. Listen, Sean McDermott brought us out of the 17-year drought. He changed the culture and made it a winning franchise again. I'll never hate on the guy for that. However, it was time. It was just time.
Yeah.
The issue isn't even that McDermott got fired. The issue is Beane got promoted. Most fans can't get their heads around Beane's promotion.
Right. They don't want to accept it, right? They want to, if it was going to be one, it needed to be both, right? Like they were dead stuck on that.
This was the first year Beane ever really took major heat because he went on WGR and said that about the wide receivers.
You know what? They're holding that to their chest. And Mikey, I don't care, man. Look, I've tried to explain this to people. We're all human beings, man. Every single one of us have a bad day, have a moment in our lifetime where we've said something maybe we regretted, or we have lashed out on somebody that maybe we shouldn't have lashed out on, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe they were doing fine and we're just not in a good mood. We all have that. And for us to sit here, or for certain people, not me and Mikey, but for certain people, like, oh, I can't believe he did. I mean, dude,
it made the circuit. But I think the issue was he doubled down, going around. He did the media circuit around it, talking.
He did because I think he had to hold it there. And then he's like, hey, I said it. I got to own it. Right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Look, looking back, he's not a perfect guy. He makes mistakes like everybody in this world. I think he's a good GM. I have belief in him. Like, when I talked to Aramis, he's like, "Oh, do you have faith?" And that's a difference. I said, "No, I believe he's a good GM. I do. In the way I see it, and y'all can see it. Everyone has their opinion. I believe he's a good GM, and I believe he will get this team on the right track into a Super Bowl. Now, with that being said, if in 2 years it doesn't happen with him and Brady, I want them both gone because the time is now. I'm going on a Josh Allen window here. Go ahead, Mike.
Beane's not going anywhere.
As GM.
Because as GM, he's not going. You know, I think he gives up GM after this year.
That's what I mean, though. I'm talking about GM. I'm not talking about president of football. I'm talking about GM.
I think that's gonna be gone after, sometime this year.
I think he's going to promote for 2.
I think he's going to promote from within. Okay. Otherwise, he's going to start losing some of those guys.
I do too, Mikey, but I just think it's going to be a 2-year gap. I think I could be wrong, and maybe you're right. I think minimum, it'll be a year. I think he'll stick with it this year. He's going to want to prove something, I think, before he gives that role up. In my opinion, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. But let's say the Bills do go ahead and win with him as GM and president. Trust me, he wants that. Right. He wants to know he was part of that made that happen. You know what I mean?
He's going to be part of that anyways. He's
He
the
will be, but I get it.
He's not going to be out of it. Like I truly believe he's going to give up. I think he's going to give up the title probably sometime this year.
It'll be interesting if he does. I mean, maybe because he has his plate full. I get that. Yeah. You're doing both things. It could be maybe too much. And like you said, maybe he doesn't want one of these guys to leave the building.
Yeah.
And he can stay in the building. Right? Exactly.
So now they have one assistant GM, one GM, and then it'll still be the three of them.
Right.
So
I'm with you there.
It's still going to be a collaborative thing.
Yeah.
He just won't have the GM title anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm good with it. But my point about the 2-year window is just they got to get it, and I'm including Brady. Like you can't be messing around too long. And I want to say they learn. I hope that they learn from this from McDermott, meaning you can't stick with the coach that long if you haven't gotten to the big dance yet. You know what I mean? Like you can't let emotions get involved or what he did in the past or he broke the drought, so we must keep him as a coach. You know what I mean? We're winning regular season games.
We're so close. We're gonna break through this.
Close.
It's gonna happen.
Right, gonna happen.
Yeah,
and then you're 12
9 years later.
Right, 9 years later, and it's the same result. So I don't want to have that recycle again. Right? Let's turn the page a little faster this time if Brady's not the answer.
And you could be right. He could be planning on addressing the big run stuff in D tackle in the draft.
He could.
Yeah. That's true. In your opinion, could they cut Bernard in 2027, or is it too much? I think they can. I think there's an out after this year for him. I'd have to go look, but I think there is an out for Bernard after this season. But let's see what Leonard can do with these young guys.
That is true.
But it's not just Leonard. It's Leonard and the young coaching staff. We have a lot of different ideas and coaches in there. It's good. That's the biggest, the most exciting part, I think. Like we know what this offense is going to kind of be. It's going to be a Josh Allen-led offense. Now that we have DJ Moore, we're going to run the ball with Cook. We're going to throw the ball around.
Right.
I'm excited about that. We have the majority. We have 4/5 of our offensive line back. So I'm excited about all that. We have our 3 tight ends. We have all of our backs. We have our main quarterback. It's the defensive side that's going to be so exciting because it's going to be young and fast and hungry.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be that soft zone, bend but don't break. It's going to be try to, get to the quarterback and be aggressive.
And we added some dogs in this room that are vocal. CJ Gardner-Johnson, who is going to be probably
him and Mad Max together.
Yeah.
Mad Max is a nonstop talker too.
Yeah. He's going to be your fiery. But he's going to be more of your fiery sideline kind of guy. Mad Max talks, but I think Sergeant CJ Gardner's a little bit out there, and I don't mind that. Like, it's finally like we needed that. Like, that's why we're saying like this guy would have never been on a McDermott team because he doesn't want a guy like that, right? A vocal guy like that, right? It just wouldn't happen. I was talking to Keys too. I wish Josh would take that approach on offense. Would eventually go, hey, take on that leadership of being. You are the man here, Josh. You are the guy. Buffalo is you. This is it. This is your team. They look up to you. I want to see Josh on the sideline getting these guys motivated, not go and sit back down after a bad play. You know what I mean? Like, take that role on, right? And I don't know if he ever will, Mikey. We've talked about this, but I would love for him to eventually step up to the plate.
We're going to find out this year if he takes it on or not. Because what was it? McDermott had his way of doing things, so he just did it, or is it really just
that's
not?
That's a great question. Style? Right, that's a great question. The only thing that's made me, go ahead, Mikey.
I say the one thing about that Josh is he's a team guy first. So if McDermott wants something done a certain way, Josh is going to fall in line. He's not going to buck the trend. That's just not who he is.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that you know why I could be wrong, but I almost think that is because of his past, meaning Allen, like the way he had to fight to kind of get on a team in college and even high school, and colleges didn't want him. Maybe he's just not. He doesn't have that attitude where I'm the man yet, even though I know he can be, vocal on the field, but that's against teams, right? That's not like super vocal with this team. You know what I mean? Like he's not a guy that's get on the sideline and get in your face and motivate you.
Yeah, he's not Peyton and Brady. And
no. But you know what's odd? He looked up to those guys though. His favorite player is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who was Super Bowl, in your face, telling you how it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes players need that. They're not going to say, "Fuck out of here, out of my face, Josh." You know what I mean? Like, they respect him. Like, there's nobody on that team that probably gives more than Josh Allen, right? And I want all those players, right, to be like that, right? And I think Josh is the motivator.
Leaders. Yeah, but everyone leads a little bit different.
I get that.
So maybe Josh has that conversation, but he doesn't do it in public, and he has it behind closed doors.
Maybe you might be right. You might be right.
Everyone, because I've seen leaders that call people out in public, and I've seen leaders have those conversations behind closed doors.
True.
I'm actually at work. I'm one of those leaders that do things behind closed doors. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody or yell at someone in public. I'll have when we need to have that conversation, we have it behind closed doors.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about embarrassing somebody. I'm talking about, like, let's say you make a bad play. I've seen quarterback go to each guy and be like, "We got this. Don't worry about that fucking play. Let's go. You remember? I've seen it a million times, right? Peyton Manning, they go to each guy and go, "Don't worry about that."
Oh, I've watched Peyton Manning and Tom Brady rip people on the sidelines, though.
Sure, rip, but I'm talking about motivated. Like when they make something happen, turnover, don't worry about it. We're gonna go out there and score on the next. You know what I mean? Allen usually just goes, sits down, takes his tablet, and puts his head down. Like he doesn't. That's not his style. You know who was that? Mac Hollins, right? Mac Hollins was that guy for us, right? Like.
Steph Diggs
was that guy, right? Motivator. Don't worry about that shit. Next play. We got the next series. And maybe you're right. Maybe Josh will never be that, but we need that. That's not from a coach. Maybe a coach can be that guy. It's fine. But we need that on the sideline. I always feel that's a good thing to have.
Yeah. It sucks about Reggie. I'm not sure I wanted to pay him what he got paid. The Patriots had the extra cash, so they gave him more than we were willing to pay him. Good for him. Get your payday. Same thing with Mac. They paid Mac more than we were willing to pay him.
Correct. They just
but good for Reggie.
I'm with that too, Mikey. Because look, Gilliam is a hell of a special teams player, but the problem was he's a fullback and he didn't provide too much on offense except for the tush push. And they had bigger needs to spend their money, right? And if the Patriots were going to pay something that we probably it was too rich for our blood, right? Where we needed to put that money elsewhere. It is what it is, guys. You know what I mean? But yeah, they could find a fullback, guys.
Yeah, I like this comment. He says, I think Beane was frustrated with McDermott and took it out on Jeremy, to be honest. Like when he said the offense isn't the problem, like what he was really saying was, this guy's defense sucks. What the fuck do you want me to do?
You know what? That's a fucking great fucking point. Right. Fuck you guys. Yeah. What the fuck are you complaining about? The offense scores goddamn 30 points again. Fucking defense. What do you want from me?
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
What do you want to score 50 to make up for that shit defense we got? Oh, sorry, McDermott.
Oh man. It's been months and we're still talking about McDermott.
I know, right? Fucking guy. Get out of my mind.
Being rated 8th best by his peers. No, he needs to settle down. He's two-time executive of the year in his 9 years he's been here.
Right. Yeah. He's actually voted.
Voted
like A- GM. Yeah, one of the best GMs in the league, by the way, recently.
Top 10. Yeah, top 10.
Yeah,
like number 8.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about? People are just pissed that he got promoted. McDermott was out.
That's it. That's all.
They wanted a receiver. God damn it.
That's
well,
all.
Guess what? He got you one. His name's DJ Moore.
Who, by the way, another gripe I have with Aramis, who's totally wrong on this, says he's not a separator. So you know me, I'm going to have one. I know that wasn't true because I know DJ Moore. I've seen film on him. I know he's a separator, but I'm like, okay, I'll look it up. Why not? Bro, he was one of the best, I think top 14 in the NFL in separation. And he was one of the best, 70, he wins 70% in zone coverage.
Yeah.
70, 80% in zone coverage. That's crazy, bro. He's a separator. He's a well-rounded one. Is he elite? Is he Justin Jefferson? Nobody said he was. But is he a guy that is going to come on this field and make plays and get open, get separation? Is he a guy that runs a 4-4 who has speed over the top route runner. He provides everything you want out of a 1. So I don't get why Bills Mafia is so hung up on the second round draft pick. The pay maybe is a little high.
It was,
but at the end of the day, he got what the team wanted, and I don't
what
care.
The team needed.
What the team wanted and needed. Right, you're right. What the team needed. Because, guys, at the end of the day, we're sitting here now, or some of you guys, going, oh, the pay too high, or I would have never gave a second round, whatever. If he provides what we're hoping he provides, you're not going to give a shit about the second round draft pick or the pay, right? Yeah. And I believe he will provide that. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. At the end of the day, I'm so done talking about this guy. So done talking about this guy. We have other things to talk about. Let's just get off McDermott.
We do. We
have other stuff to talk about. He refused to change,
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
And when we're talking about DJ Moore's not a tactician. He's not going to, route you up like a Stephon Diggs or one of those guys. But he's fast enough and he's quick enough and he has sudden bursts to still get the separation needed. Just he does it with speed rather than his routes. Like Khalil does his with his route running.
Yeah.
DJ Moore does his with subtle body movements, and he might round off with rather than a sharp cut.
Right. Right. Just a different type of receiver. But I
don't give a shit how he does it. He gets open. Right. That's all I care about.
That's all I care about. And you want to talk about plays last year. So there was, I forget who I watched. It was somebody, which is rare of me to watch national sports media, but they were talking about his stats from last year, that it wasn't his best. But somebody on the panel, man, I wish I remember, it was like, when I watched back DJ Moore from last year with the Bears, on the Bears games, when they needed big plays to happen, who do they go to every single time? DJ fucking Moore. Who came up with the biggest catches of the season? DJ fucking Moore, right? Why? You think I was he just got lucky and he was the guy to go to at the time? No, he was the guy that you could rely on, and they knew that. So, no, guys, this is a good receiver. He's a quality 1, and I'm glad that he's on the Buffalo Bills.
Keys one says, bring Trey back. Does Trey fit that man coverage scheme, though? That's my only concern.
I don't think so. He doesn't have the problem, and the problem is, if you saw last year, he doesn't have the speed, the makeup speed. Yeah. That's why, if you saw, especially last year, he cushions off a lot, right? And when he went against the burners, like in Miami, was it Miami that cooked him that one game? He just could not. I think it was Waddle, right? He just couldn't. Once he got in the early slants, he was toast. So that's just, it's really never been his style. He's always been a zone corner, right? He's always playing kind of cushion because he's never had that elite kind of top end speed. But he had good makeup speed, meaning he'd get back and play, make a play on the ball. And I thought he did that well towards the end of the year, last year. I thought he did really well. But you're right, Mikey. I don't know if he fits this new scheme that we're going to be running.
We'll find out. If they decide to bring him back, we'll find out.
I've heard no talk about it, though.
Tori comes in and says, McDermott never really gelled with Allen. Need the coach QB combo. Kind of the lack of hearing anything from Josh about McDermott other than that quick little, I appreciate my time with him, says a lot.
Did he, but real quick, because I don't recall, did he have a farewell letter or anything?
McDermott?
Yeah. Did he? Because I don't remember. Okay.
Yes.
Do you know what's funny, Mikey? So I did I don't know if you watched it, but I know you didn't, because you don't want to relive the past. But Sunday I did the first series, first part of the drought year series. And did you know it was by the way, I had a great time.
I bet you did.
And honestly, there was quite a few people in there. I appreciate you guys that rocked with me on Sunday at 1. But did you know a couple interesting things there? In the 90, the Music City Miracle loss. Did you know? And I didn't know this, that at the end, the kickoff, Wade Phillips wanted to do a squib and the special teams wanted to kick it off like a short high kick, and they didn't agree. So the special teams coach just did what he wanted and called that kick. And then after the game, Phillips fired him. Right? Sound familiar? 13 seconds playoff loss. Like, I'm like, no fucking way. Too damn funny, bro. Like, I'm like, that is so eerily familiar. Of course, it would be a Buffalo thing to happen. And then, you know what's funny? He hired a new special teams coach the following year. Ralph Wilson wanted him to fire him, and he refused. And then he fired Wade Phillips because he refused to fire the special teams coach. Yeah. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy times.
Like, what? Coordinator and a head coach don't agree all the time?
on an important kick in the fucking playoffs, man. Of course,
you know. But you know what? You heard about that he fired him in Buffalo. You had no idea who called what, and it just got swept under the rug.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I guess
no accountability.
Wild, right? Fucking wild.
For someone who preached trust the process and accountability, he never took it. Never.
No, just moved on from the coach. moved on from whoever it was. I mean, taking it, and of course, I heard that he took over play calling in that game on defense side of the ball from Frazier. I mean, that's interesting too. I mean, wow.
He gave up the points.
Right, he gave up the points on top of it. So it's not
he had Tremaine Edmonds playing deep safety.
Right.
And
wild.
Listen, we're not going to.
I know.
We're getting off of McDermott.
Kind of like the Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers the first half last year or the year before. Remember that? Or no, it was last year.
Stop it. Stop it.
We're like, what is he doing? Rushing like 2.
Stop it. You keep baiting me.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
No more. Okay.
All right. No more. I do got a list of free agents.
Let's go into you have some stuff for us to talk about tonight. Let's get into some of that.
Yeah, not too much, but I got rid of most of it.
25-2. We got an 11-point lead. I'm reading one of the comments right here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Prevent. Yeah. He went prevent in that Baltimore game in 25. Thank God that what's his name dropped the 2-point conversion.
The tight end, Andrews.
Andrews dropped that 2-pointer.
And they went down the field, by the way, with fucking ease.
2-time executive of the year, Keys. 2-time.
Yeah. Two-time.
2-time. WCW.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Are we caught up with the chat? Do you want to call up catch up first, and then we'll go through stuff? Okay.
Still about 7 minutes behind. But you go ahead and start, and I'll get through here.
All right. Oh, by the way, I do have a poll going on, Mikey, tonight. The poll is Bills Mafia are coming to Believe in Bean Island. The answers are already.
It says no.
Already living on Bean Island and packing my bags now, waiting until the draft, until after the draft. And nope, I'm not a believer. So what do you think is leading right now out of all that?
Relaxing on Bean Island.
No, that's 24%. Waiting until after the draft, 48%.
I am so disappointed.
Yeah, 10%.
I am chilling on the island with the lounge chairs.
Yeah,
and a coconut drink, just chilling on the beach.
Having a good time, man. 24% of us are doing that right now.
Just enjoying my Bean Island.
Yeah. All of us are 24% of us are chilling out right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
That's wild. I guess you missed the chat roasted.
Oh, dude. No, because there was no Keys tonight, and
so is he just solo?
I mean, he was just he made Waddle sound like it's his cousin. He was praising Waddle like he was Jerry Rice.
The guy who can't stay healthy?
Yeah, he was saying, so here's what he was saying. He was getting killed. That he would have given up a first-round pick this offseason, basically what the Dolphins wanted, and he would also trade it for Brian Thomas Jr., which is fine. I would have liked Brian Thomas Jr.
But Brian Thomas Jr. wasn't available.
He wasn't available, yeah. But if he was, then now you have 0 picks because you're giving your first. Brian Thomas would have at least had a second minimum, I would think, right?
It's
Second or third.
both of them. It's not Madden.
Yeah, both. You want both. So it's like
Madden.
But look, right, but even so, I don't think Waddle. Matter of fact, what's his name? Moore's had been better since 2023 as a receiver. So I don't, and we gave up a second. So I don't really get it. But he was high praising him.
Whatever.
Yeah, cost was saying. So he was high praising him,
and Moore's health, stays healthier.
Yeah, and then he was saying Moore's not a separate. I mean, he was just really.
He's not a fan.
Most of it. Yeah, Chubb is a scrub. It's called scrub.
Oh my God.
He was just attacking everything.
Negative.
The only guy who liked CJ Gardner. Yeah, he was. It wasn't the. It was definitely like he was angry. This is an angry Aramis tonight.
Whew. I'm glad I missed that one. If Beane hadn't made the trade in New England or another team would have gone for a second, fans would be going ballistic. Beane didn't. Yeah. Beane again had to give up a second because other suitors were asking for him. He was in a bidding war.
Yeah.
It's not like Beane walked in and said, "Here, let me give you a second."
Right. Yeah, it's a fair trade. Put it this way. Let me ask you this, Mikey. Do you think Bills Mafia would have thought differently if that trade would have happened at the trade deadline?
No. I think the issue was the initial report came out, said it was a mid-round. Right. So everyone was fine with the mid-round and thinking, oh, we got a steal. And then they found out a second and they lost their shit.
Right.
Poor reporting from the national media, which led to this expectation that, oh my God, we overpaid.
Right. But my point is, and I wish I could ask this to the people that are hating on this, in the trade deadline, when we need a receiver, you were willing to give up a first. For Waddle. Let's say we wound up trading for more for some odd reason. We gave up a second. You would have been ecstatic.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking lie. Everyone that's hating on this now would have been like, bro, I can't believe we got DJ Moore. Second round pick, DJ Moore? Like, come on, man. Let's be real here, guys.
Chan Gailey with Josh Allen back then would have been fun.
Oh, it'd have been, yeah. He's a hell of an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Offensive mind, crazy.
Do my point dirty like that. Oh, Keys, man.
What do you say?
So no one gets a good night's sleep. I love Aramis, man. Me and him, man, we go through some good debates, man. He's but look, he has his opinion and he is sticking to it. That I would tell you, like he is sticking to his opinion.
Yep. No matter what, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And
yeah.
All right, we caught up in the chat. Why don't you
cool.
Pop it up?
Yeah, so we got some the rest of the free agents that are available, Mikey, that we kind of glance over, and you could tell me, yeah, like this guy, this would good. So what position would you like me to?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. All right.
I want my big fatties. Someone who can keep those undersized linebackers, with the big lineman off of them.
Or start with the highest market value.
Give me Calais Campbell all day.
Do you think he's worth the market value though? Like I'm starting.
I would absolutely give him a 10-year, $10 million deal.
Okay,
that guy is an impact player at age 40.
And you're talking about Larry Ogunjobi, right?
Kick rocks.
Go ahead.
I would take Campbell. I'd love DJ Reader. You get me those two guys. Woo.
Yeah. All right, let me go down the list. So right. Calais for sure. Dude, even though he's pushing 40, the dude's still showing that he has it. What about, I can't pronounce his last name, David Onyemata? Anything on him? I honestly don't even know that guy, but anything on him? You know that guy? No. Obviously, you want Larry Ogunjobi, and I'm telling you no.
No.
Rakeem, I don't know that guy. Jihad Ward.
I'll take
DJ Reader. I would welcome because he's been in the league a little bit, but he's 32 soon. But I think it would be a good cheapy kind of signing for a player that could be useful. Shelby Harris.
Shelby Harris is a name. I don't know what
he's
has left at 35.
35, right? But
Tillery would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else here that you like?
Greg Gaines. I'm a Greg Gaines fan. He
right.
played with Hoyt in LA.
Okay. There's Daquan, by the way. He won't come back. He was so mad about he was so happy about leaving here. It seemed like
Felicia.
right. Right. Oh man. Anybody else here that you like? I think we're getting to the cheapies now. We're getting into the real bargain bin side of things. Benito Jones, remember he was kind of a name for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, Jordan Phillips.
Tatum Bryan.
It's good. Jordan Phillips back.
No, Tatum Bryan is a name that I'd be interested in.
Okay, from Baltimore.
Yeah, DJ Davidson is someone to keep an eye on. I'd take a flyer on.
Young player, 27, 26, really.
26. I would take a flyer on him.
Okay.
And
then of course players that are really really cheap.
No.
Okay. So any other positions? So there's a few on here that you would
give me edge.
Okay, edge. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to edge.
I mean, hell, if you're putting Josh on that team back in the day, Keys, put Josh with Stevie.
Bosa's the highest
Stevie
right now.
And Lee Evans. Woo.
Floyd's sitting out there. Cameron Jordan, you said no to him because of shit talk.
Cameron can kick rocks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. Listen, Floyd gets 10 sacks a year. I would not be upset if they decided to bring him back. Anthony Jennings, Von Miller. I just have this sneaky feeling Vaughn's coming back.
You think so? He does have a good relationship. He does have a good relationship with Brandon Beane. You know that, right? Like he made the shirt,
and he would be a DN4 pass rush specialist.
Yeah, and once again, he also brings experience too.
I don't want him, but I could see.
No, but I get it. I get it. Yeah. Clowney, the guy that steals people's money every
that guy's been good.
He's been consistent. He's been consistent, but he also gets paid sometimes a little bit too much, and he doesn't stick around. He's a 1 year guy.
If you get him for $5 million, I'd take him.
What's his age right now? 33. Yeah, for $5, it's not a bad signing. He'll give you something. I mean, what did he get last year in sacks wise?
No. Not off the top of my head.
All right. I think he was decent, right? I want to say. All right.
Reddick is the guy who just fell right off the table.
He did, right?
Dante Fowler's interesting.
Kyle Van Noy. She's been around for it.
Yeah, but God, that's the type of guy.
He's not bad though.
That's the type of guy you want.
Bad.
I would love to have Kyle Van Noy as one of those outside backers.
He was terrible in Miami for some reason, but then he left and he was
Joe Tryon's interesting.
Joe Tryon, okay, Tryon, okay. From Chicago.
He came out. He was the pick after a group.
Okay. Anybody else here? Davenport.
Not overly fond of what's out there, really.
Boy, we're getting real cheap on the cheap now.
Yeah.
That's about it. All right, and what other, so there's a couple guys you wouldn't.
Yeah.
What about Floyd? Is he just kind of too much? And
I don't know if I'm giving him $8 million.
Okay,
I'm giving him $8 million. If we got him for cheaper, then I'd rather give Vaughn for like 4 or 5.
I'll tell you what, I got to look up Clowney's numbers last year because you're right. At 5, that's what his asking price is. God, that may not be a terrible pickup. I mean, Vaughn too, if he's on the cheap.
The new star quarterback we traded for today. We talked about it to start the show. Is there a better place for him to go and learn from Mahomes and Reed? He's about to get a quarterback masterclass.
He had 8.5 last year, by the way.
Yeah.
2024 with the Panthers, he had 5.5. So not as greatest with the Panthers. The Ravens, he had 9.5 1 year.
I do think he's more of a 4-3 DN than a 3-4 outside, but
he has years though where he did not show up though. That's the like the Titans signed him, he had 0 sacks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns, they signed him for 2 years. He had 9 1 year and 2 the next. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there is some seasons where he just took. I don't know what happened. He just decided not to show up.
Kurt Hinch is a Jason Zimmer type. Better. Okay. I actually think Fields is a decent intern, to be honest. He's a great insurance policy saying that
absolutely.
Mahomes isn't ready for week 1.
Absolutely. You get a game or two out of him where he especially with Andy Reid's offense. I mean, he's had backup quarterbacks there. I never even heard of manage the offense. You know what I mean? Do fine.
John did tell us if we just would have looked in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you, John. All right. What other position you want?
Beane will grab Mesidor in the draft. He just seems like he's so much bigger than what we would need.
Mesidor, he had a good year though with Miami. The thing is, he's an aging.
Is he more of a 4-3 type of D end rather than a 3-4?
I mean, remember though, you can teach these guys. You don't necessarily need to have. There's guys that switch schemes all the time, man. That come out of college. So I wouldn't be overly concerned about what he played in college. He had a really good year, but the question is, did he have a standout year because of how good Beane was?
And the guys around him.
Yeah. Now, I mean, exactly. Now I saw film on him as well. He did shine at times, but once again, like, is he also kind of getting the help from Beane, getting their quarterback to flush his way, you know what I mean? So, but if he slid to us there, I wouldn't hate it.
Spen says Vaughn owes us a league minimum deal.
Right, that's right. Hey, don't you want to be a GM one day, man? Come cheap. Come talk to Beane, man. You see how that works.
I'll be honest. I thought it was a really smart trade too. Trade McDuffie for first because they weren't in that. There was a lot of changeover going on in that back end. The fact that you were able to get the first for McDuffie was a smart move. Like he's an elite corner, but where they're having to kind of redo the defense didn't make sense to pay an elite corner. And let's be honest, they cycle out corners every 4 years and tend to stay really good. So that's one area Spags knows how to get the best out of guys.
Correct. See, now that's my point. A defensive coordinator or anything, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, your job is to make the players play above really what they are, right? Like to get them to excel, right? To play above their means, basically, right? Like and the best, get those players to play their best, right? And I think McDermott did that on a few players here. I don't want to say
mostly secondary.
Yeah, mostly secondary. I don't want to say he didn't get some players to kind of overachieve.
He got
or play at a higher level.
Got Benford.
Yeah.
I mean, Levi Wallace overachieved as an undrafted rookie free.
He did.
Free agent.
Yeah. Yep.
Dane Jackson was a late rounder. He overachieved. Trey was really good, but he's a first round pick.
Yeah, I want to say Trey.
Poyer was scrap heat basically, and who was a corner that turned into a
safety. I would say he turned Poyer around. Absolutely, he helped his career.
Micah Hyde, same thing. Micah was a slot guy in Green Bay, and then that's what he did with Bishop.
You're right, Cole Bishop too. Yeah, so you got to give him. You got to show some love to what he did on the DBs and the safety room. Yeah, he knew secondary. Yeah. His problem was really that line, right? The defensive line, front seven.
Couldn't figure out a way to
couldn't figure it out. And I also feel like he didn't trust his defense at times too. Like he kept, and Mikey's mentioned this before, where McDermott would look good in the regular season, have certain games where he's aggressive and doing all this, and then we get into the playoffs and it was a different story. Yeah. Right. He get passive. Right. And that to me tells me he just didn't trust his players to do their job. I mean, but anyways, we're back on McDermott. You said you wanted to.
Yeah. Thoughts on Jacoby Lane in the third? I wouldn't want him in the third. If we're going to get Lane, I'd want him as day 3, 4th, 5th. I don't think he's a day 2 prospect. In my eyes. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before about prospects. But I wouldn't take him in the third. There's better receivers in the third that you can probably get. Justin Fields versus Josh Allen opening day at the new stadium. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I love the McDuffie trade. I bet you did, G-Pick. It was a good trade. It was
It
a
was a good
win-win
trade.
on both sides.
Yeah.
You know? It really was. Chiefs need to draft a couple. Here's the thing, G-Pick, you don't have to. You know, you had some late round draft picks that have hit, you know, like the Bills. You don't have to always take early ones.
No.
You just need to get a couple. I wonder
you
if
gotta get a couple.
Snead ends up back in Kansas City after he got released from the Titans.
Possible.
You know, how about running backs? Because I'd like to get an upgrade for Ty. I would too, but they love Ty. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. You know, they had a chance to get rid of Palmer, right? They would have saved a little bit. They chose to keep him, right? So
What?
I read that somewhere. Yeah, if they would have cut him,
It had to be post June 1.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I read somewhere earlier that they had it. I think it was maybe it was, but they had the opportunity then, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, because it would. How much money was going to cost us, regardless, and then we were going to have him for two years.
Yeah, but
dead cap. You keep him.
Yeah, it's a dead cap. I get it. I hope.
You ever heard the saying "cheaper to keep her"?
I guess, yeah. I mean, but sometimes you got to move on to create space for somebody else. That's
we have
do
space
something.
in the wide receiver room.
We do right now. We do. I'm just, Shavers is going to miss a season more than likely, or most of the season, because he tore the ACL late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to even count McCall Hardman as part of that offensive group.
So what do we need? One McCall Hardman?
Yeah. So I think we need a receiver, right? We need one more, correct? Or am I wrong there to kind of fill that out?
Yeah.
So more than likely through the draft. I mean, we still have this list here, and we're gonna go through receivers, see if there's anybody. Christian Kirk got picked up by the Niners, by the way. That would have been a nice little pickup.
Oh God, if Christian Kirk would have signed with the Bills, Mafia would have had a meltdown. Josh is just getting all his friends. They would have melted.
Yeah.
Xavier Harris, D tackle, 6'8", 330, good run stopper. I'm good with that, Trek. I like that. What's with all the hate on Ty Johnson? He's a great receiving back, unless you want to replace him with a big downhill rush. That's who I want to replace him with.
Yeah.
I don't hate Ty. I thought he was good last year. He wasn't. He struggled last year.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he struggled. I just think he just wasn't.
No, he struggled.
I just think Brady. Yeah, but I don't think Brady really got the running backs involved. Period. In the passing game.
Well, I'm just saying, running the ball, he struggled.
Running the ball, he was
supposed to be our thumper because he's a bigger back, and he just.
But for me though, when I look back at the 2024 season, where Ty had I look at his receiving more than I looked really. I mean, his running was fine. Don't get me wrong, but I felt his receiving was like at another level. Like he made some unbelievable plays when we needed him, and I just felt like last year when we were like all excited about this offense and the Cook and Ty and bring it back. Remember we signed Ty again. We're like, okay, we're going to get him involved in the passing game. And we just never really got them involved. So if that's going to be the case moving forward, why have him on the roster? Then I much rather have, like Mikey said, a thumper, right? To get those short yardage where we're not always having to do the goddamn tush push.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We could trade him for 5.3. Yeah, but no one wants to take on his salary. That's the problem. For a guy who's hurt all last year, he has no value.
Yeah, right.
And Ty Johnson's a good receiver, but do you really want him starting? Cook gets hurt? No, he wouldn't. It would be Ray Davis.
It would be Ray. Yep. Who actually looked pretty good when they used him a couple times last year towards the tail end. And he was actually at a better tail end of the season. Remember that? He was actually running pretty well at times in games.
I still do it now that we got more just to save the 5. The issue isn't trading him. It's to finding a partner to take him. No one wants that contract.
Nope.
He's guys coming off of a completely injured year.
Yeah, that was a bad, that to me was a bad signing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get it. It was a bad, like he didn't do much in with the Chargers, right? He was their third option, I think. There, like it wasn't like he was this great option they had there. He was okay, but you probably could have saved that money and just drafted a receiver. You know what I mean? Or maybe get a veteran receiver on a cheaper and a draft one. So I didn't get it, and now you're locked up with him. It's kind of like they didn't learn from the Curtis Samuel signing. Again, that does fall on Beane. You know what I mean? That's why when we say like we're going to criticize when needed, and that was bad.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I would happily trade him, but you have to have 2 to tango.
You got to have 2 to tango. Absolutely.
Who's
I'm sure
more tradable, Palmer or Coleman?
Coleman, because of his rookie contract, and he's younger, and I think maybe teams still see something in him. Palmer, they already know the story on him. Been in the league a while, and they're not taking, like Mikey said, they're not taking that fucking contract on. Why would they?
Haas isn't moving to fullback.
No.
If anything, you might see Kincaid play a little H-back. Because then he's going and just chipping guys and things like that versus
true,
being the down blocker, and then you could get stuff out of the backfield to him. But I think we're going to go get ourselves a fullback. I really do. Ray Davis coming out party this year. He was an all-pro kick returner.
He was curious if they keep him there though. Very curious.
Palmer was on his way to going off against Atlanta and then he got yanked down backwards and shattered his season.
On his way, and he never. If you look at his stats after that,
he wasn't. He's never healthy.
Yeah, it's me from the Atlanta game, but before that, he had games where he had 60, I think, against Baltimore. He had 40 on another game, 30, 40. Like it wasn't impressive, but it wasn't terrible. And then he had the Atlanta game where I think he had 60 or something like that, or whatever it was, and he got hurt. And Mikey, he was terrible after that. I think they should have just put him on IR. Honestly, he provided nothing.
Whoa, Jarrett comes in, expecting a trade back. I do too. I don't think we're using our first round pick. I think we're moving back.
I have a feeling you're right.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep Palmer as the ZY wide receiver or the rotational guy. Antonio Williams is the wide receiver Josh needs, someone who understands zone, and it's a guy that they met at the combine.
Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. In a red zone, I got to say too, like we have had that's not been our strongest suit when it comes to receiving touchdowns. We've kind of struggled in the red zone area when it comes to passing touchdown, finding a guy that can get open. Like Diggs was that guy. Like Diggs could find a way to get open. 1 year was Knox. Remember that? Knox had the 8 touchdowns, but then he just never could repeat that. Right. So hopefully we find that.
WGR and Cam Newton are some of the big reasons why fan base hates Keon. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't listen to WGR and I don't watch Cam Newton. My issue with Keon is he's immature and can't make it to meetings on time.
Correct. And this will be it for him, by the way. If he's not traded and Brady truly believes in him and he's the guy that he said that vouched for him or that wanted to draft him or whatever he said. But okay, then let's see if it works. And by the way, if your coach now your coach, right, said all this stuff about you and you go into this upcoming season, Mikey, and you miss a meeting again or something like that, that means that tells me it's probably never going to change.
Never going to click.
Right. Never going to happen because you got a guy now that vouched for you, kept you in the building, and you still are going to do the same shit. Like, or if he's just not doing anything on offense at the same time, like, then yeah, it's probably just a bad pick. Yeah.
And Williams, Jarek, is one of those guys you can probably get in the third. So, yeah, we did try to get Denver's fullback. I did see that.
Oh, did you? Okay.
They were hoping Palmer could play X because they knew Coleman couldn't. I think Ray Davis is our Eric Metcalf, a good returner and a decent running back. Yeah.
Eric Metcalf, forgot about him. Cleveland Browns, right?
I played on a lot of different teams, but yeah.
Yeah, I swear the Browns.
Maybe we reporters / Coleman's tires to get Beane fired. That's hilarious. All right, we're caught back up.
All right, so what you want to look at receiver just for the hell of it?
We can go look at receivers. We can look at linebackers too.
Okay, so we'll start with linebackers since we're on the defense still. So here's the linebackers. Let's go to market value. All right, here we go. So There they are.
Devin Bush.
Wagner.
Levante David's interesting. He's old, but he's interesting.
I heard Wagner's name get brought up. I just don't know if they're going to bring him in. Almost 36.
Yeah. David's the same thing. And he was good last year.
There's Milano down there.
You know,
Jermaine Pratt. Remember, he was something for a second.
They talked about him. Devin White.
Was for a set.
Logan Wilson.
Now, Logan Wilson, I've heard his name, and he would be kind of a cheap signing. What do you think about Logan Wilson?
At $2.5 million, I'd give him a flyer.
I mean, Shaq Thompson, right, is still out there. Now they're really low, like Shaq. But you said Shaq might want something higher, right?
He wants more.
Right,
and he wants.
But are teams willing to? But are they willing to? Do teams see it differently? And maybe that's something Shaq needs to, or he might come. He might find out really soon that it's just the way it is, and he may have to take another 1-year deal somewhere. It may not be here, Mikey, but what you want. It may not be what you get. You get what I'm saying? So he may be over evaluating himself. I'm not saying he had a bad year or he can't be that guy, but I think at his age, 32-year-old linebacker trying to get a bigger payday. I don't know. Mikey. I think who knows? I hope he has a good agent. Right? That could sell it, right? For him.
Correct. No, I haven't listened to One Bills Live at all. Have you?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Have you listened to One Bills Live since it went to streaming only?
I have not. I'll be honest with you. You talking about with Chris Brown and them and Tasker? I'll be honest. I barely watched it.
A bunch? No, we're not paying a bunch. Dead cap. We are paying some dead cap, but not a bunch. Jarek says Wilson sucks.
Damn, I think he's okay. I don't think he sucks.
I like Bobby O and Bobby Wagner. Like if I had my way, we'd trade back and take Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player coming out of the draft. I'm with you there. Anybody else here? I remember Sanborn when Dallas got Sanborn and they thought he's gonna be something.
I wouldn't mind Sanborn here. He's one of those guys.
They hyped him up though, because I think he was an early pick, wasn't he? I want to say I thought he was.
Yeah, Sanborn's one of our D coordinators guys.
Okay.
Winter guys out of college.
But he was drafted early, right? Or am I wrong on that? I could swear he was.
Second or third. He was a second or third round pick.
Okay. Anybody else here that you're liking?
No, not really.
And we're getting to the cheap now.
The whole thing's been pretty cheap.
Well, we're getting to the real cheap.
A lot of older guys.
Right.
A lot of names.
33.
Hasn't really done much.
Oldest guy, Preston Smith at 33. Let's see here. Who's the oldest guy here? It's probably
Bobby Wagner.
Close. It's Levante David at 36. Okay. And then you get Bobby Wagner's creeping up on 35.6.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Milano back playing the middle next to
on a cheapy deal. Yeah.
Next to Bernard. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
And he actually had, I want to be happy because I don't want kind of us going backwards again where we're getting former Bills players in here through the McDermott years. But on the flip side, he had one of his better seasons last year. You know what I mean? I thought he played pretty well. I didn't think it was great, Mikey, but I thought he played pretty good. And he was healthy for the most part, right? Like he didn't miss too many games, did he? I don't recall.
Yeah. Brandon Beane messed up not getting Leo Chanel. I wanted him over back in the day. Here's the thing. Leo didn't fit the Sean McDermott defense. That's why we didn't take him. He was more, because they wanted coverage and,
right.
And he was more of a run stopping linebacker. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the whole coaching staff didn't want Leo this offseason. The fans wanted him more than the coaching staff wanted him, obviously, because he didn't get a ton of money.
Yeah. They listen at this point though, too, Mikey. The coaching staff, whatever defensive player we're talking about right now, just in general, we're players that we brung in already. Obviously, Leonard and coaching staff they have a plan for, or they see a vision. They have a vision for what this player is going to do on the defense. That's why they're not going to, like I said, Beane's not going rogue and just signing Bradley Chubb. Like, clearly Leonard was involved with this and said, hey, I think he could be really good at, I could do this with him. I can, you know what I mean? Like, CJ Gardner, man, I know where I could put this guy. I know what he can do in this. There's a plan. Exactly. Thank you, Mikey. So, just like the draft. So if we passed up on a player that we feel might have fit, maybe they don't feel that way. You know what I mean? Like, and we have to respect that.
Dorian Williams is the answer.
Right. Who's still a young, physical, and the dude can hit. Maybe they see something. Yeah.
He fits better as a 4-3 inside linebacker than he did a 4-3 middle linebacker.
I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm with you there.
We don't know what they think. We'll find out, when we get closer to after the draft.
Soon. Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. Yeah. And then we'll really find out when the season starts.
I get the tiny linebackers are always hurt. I'm with you on that. I would like to see us go get I like Dorian and then go get us another bigger linebacker and let Bernard rush. The best thing he did in college was blitz the quarterback. Stick him outside. Yep. Let him do some pass rush. Like, he's good at that. He's fast. He can bang.
And he hits. He makes you know that he hit you. He's
if you put him as an outside linebacker, then you could drop him into coverage some too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, what is the right size. Not a 225-pound, 215-pound linebacker going against 330-pound guards.
All right.
First year transition, they're focusing on secondary and pass rush. Yeah, I'm with you, Spen. It's going to take some time, and they'll probably draft. There's some good linebackers in this year's draft too that would fit. So
yeah, and it's not sometimes not always about the weight because your height. You know what I mean? Like if you're a shorter player, it's 225 pounds. You know what I mean? Mikey, that player could be a bulkier, bigger muscle. You know what I mean? Like so, it just depends on your height, to weight ratio. But the problem is, I think more so not so much about that. It was more so about converting. A lot of these guys are converted from safety to linebackers. So naturally, their bodies weren't big to begin with. They were safeties, right? So I think we need like a true type of linebacker, coming in here that played linebacker in college, right? That has the build for it.
Yeah. But
that's what we need here.
230, 238 is bigger than any of the linebackers that we've had in the past.
Absolutely.
And
once again, height to weight ratio. And it depends on what we're talking about. I have no idea the size of the height of this guy talking about. So
Truck says, Truck says, how long is Reed Ferguson be Bill? Probably for as long as he wants to be. That dude's awesome.
It is good. I have no problem. I have no problem with him. No problem with Reed Ferguson.
What he said. 6'3", 240 going up forward like Nick Benito. Okay.
True. So, see the height to weight. All right. Do you want to go through guards or receivers?
Yeah, I have about 10 minutes before I got to bounce.
Yeah. So let's quickly do receiver and guard, and then I'll let you get out of here.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the highest on this list on market value, Juwan Jennings. So clearly that's out of our range, and
thank you. I don't want him anyways.
Debo is the one that's been kind of rumored here at a 2-year 30. If he were to come, that's kind of what they're projecting him to make on the market. I don't think I don't think he earned that last year coming into this offseason.
I wouldn't want him for 15.
I'd be interested in him, just not at 15. You get what I mean?
You give him between 6. You give him 6 where he can make up to 9. I'm good with
something like that. Yeah, something like that. And I'm with you there, Mikey, 100%. Because when healthy, he can be productive, especially. And I feel like in this offense, I think he would excel if he could stay healthy. But I'm just not comfortable at 15 a year. That's wild to me. Tyreek Hill, I mean, that's not going to happen. So
no,
it just wouldn't happen.
Oh, listen, I would not hate a Stephon Diggs return
at 13.
Not at 13.
Right. That's the problem.
But I wouldn't hate if Stephon Diggs retired.
I wouldn't either. I absolutely listen. He obviously, and the reason why is what? He has a connection with Josh, right? He's been here, right?
He has a connection with Beane too. His
And
issue was Tom McDermott.
Exactly. So they have chemistry already. You know, he would come in here
as a 1. He'd come in as the 2.
Exactly.
Because we have DJ Moore. Like,
right.
You're talking about a guy whose route that Josh already knows. Like, I would not hate Stephon.
I wouldn't hate
might
it.
not even be playing in the league this year, guys.
And that's what I was going to get to. I just don't think he would. I don't know what it is, but usually former Bills players that we trade or kind of leave here on bad kind of terms a little bit, they never come back. Like we always talk about, remember like the cornerback we once had here and he could come back. No, he's never coming back. He doesn't want to be here, won't come back. It's not going to happen. And I feel like the same with Diggs. And then part 2 of that is, like you said, the legal troubles. I'm not trying to get into the same mistake that we did last year with 2 guys that are suspended for the first fucking 6 weeks of the season, right? When you're just pissing your money away. So
yeah, no thanks.
No thanks. So for me, I would be out on that kind of, unless it was a super great deal, Mikey.
But that's saying that he gets suspended. If he doesn't, then bring him back.
Exactly. But how long do you wait on that? You have no idea. Remember, like Von Miller's suspension didn't happen until start of the season. Remember that? And they just suspended him. And so the NFL's weird like that. You have no idea how long the process is going to take. So just throwing that out there. But anyways, Keenan Allen, what do you think about Keenan? It's just too old at this point.
Hold on. Let's hit this.
Right,
this is New England wants him to come back on a team-friendly contract. Why would he go back after they cut him and gave his money to Romeo Dobbs and say, oh, yeah, go ahead and come back. We'll pay you less.
I don't think he returns to New England either.
Yeah, they're trying to trade for AJ Brown. They don't want to give up what they want for him. The Eagles already said he ain't going anywhere. Like if he gets dealt, he'll get dealt during the draft.
That's what I think is going to happen, Mikey. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen during the draft. When there's a player maybe the Eagles are just very high on, they see him sitting there, it's a possibility, and they move on from him. You know, maybe the team I don't know. They tell the team and make a deal. I have no idea, but I'm with you there. But I think their asking price might be maybe too rich.
Yeah, they want like a 1 and a 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Trek says, I like Cooks at 2. I don't want Cooks back. I really don't.
I don't either. I thank you for coming here last year. You made a couple of good plays.
My issues is his hands.
Yeah. Yep. He's just not reliable on catches. I can't have another play like that happen again. Like, let's be real. Old ass DeAndre Hopkins would have came down with that ball all day.
I would rather Marquise Brown than Cooks.
Marquise Brown would have came down with that. Like,
give me Hollywood over.
Yeah, who's a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, give me Sterling Shepard at 33. Give me Tim Patrick.
Yeah,
There's a lot of guys here I'd take over that guy. Keenan, no, because he's just slot only pretty much.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I know you don't like it, and I know a lot of fans don't. Remember Sky Moore was supposed to do something, and that didn't work out. But I'll tell you a guy right here, DeAndre. I know he's old. I get it. I know he's past his prime. But for what his market value is,
possession guy, I'd do it.
Yes, what I'm saying for his market value for
1.4,
it's basically a vet minimum.
Yeah,
dude, guys, for a 1-year deal, bro, for a guy, he still has great hands, right? They
wanted a 1 or 2 and a player. Holy shit!
Yeah, fuck that. But I would sign. My point is, I would for that type of deal, I would do it, bro. And then you draft a receiver, right? And then whatever. If Hopkins isn't any good during training camp or just looks terrible, then you cut him. You know what I mean? You move on from it. It wouldn't be the first time.
At 1.4,
that's what I mean.
It's a lotto scratcher.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Is there anything left in that Hall of Fame body?
Right. Is there anything? Can he provide it? I mean, I wouldn't hate it. You know what I mean? Anybody else on this list that you like?
Yeah, I don't think we're adding a free agent wide receiver. I don't think we're adding a free agent wide receiver for the draft either.
I don't. I'm just going through the list.
After if we don't get one.
No. I can't believe Zay Jones is still around.
And he had one of his worst years, Walter, on the outside. He was used primarily as the outside last year, and he had one of his worst years.
Hunter Renfrow, remember when he was good for a minute?
Yeah.
Barrios, anybody else here that you like?
Barrios was good for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
No.
There's
really.
MVS.
No. Kick rocks on that.
Josh Reynolds. Remember, he had the 1 year with the Lions. He did pretty decent. And there's Gabe, who will be out the season. There's Dortch. Remember Dortch?
Greg Dortch.
Yeah. Scotty Miller, Tampa Bay Bucks. Remember he had the decent year with Brady.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll look up Garden. I know you got
Juju's only 29.
I know. Crazy, huh? Where is he at? Is he on the list?
Yeah.
Where's Juju?
Yeah, right there. Go up.
Oh yeah, right there. Almost 30, but yeah, no, 29 actually. 29.
I feel like he's been in the league forever.
It does. You're right. And he's just floating out there, man. Just floating out there. All right, we'll look up guards and we'll get out. I know you got to get out of here. So here's the guards. Market value. All right, here we go. Becton.
Okay, we're not paying $15 million. We would have kept Edwards for that.
Benito. Daniel Falele.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Falele. Wyatt.
I'm not paying Wyatt 10. I'm not paying. I mean, if I'm going to pay 10, I'm giving Parham.
There's Parham at 10. Yeah.
You know.
There's Greg Van Rotten.
No thanks.
Van Rotten. Cap. Anybody here on the cheap that you would kind of take a flyer on that you see here?
That's better than Alec Anderson.
You telling me Michael Jordan, the GOAT? You wouldn't sign it?
Volson would be interesting.
Damn, what a name. That's a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a great name to have, huh?
Yeah.
At
Ohio State. Cordell Volson would be interesting.
Volson? Okay. 1.4. I mean, he low cost too.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it, man. I mean, there's not a lot. If you notice, good offensive linemen, they kind of go quick. I mean, there's a couple here on the list.
Parham's still out there. He's young.
27, 20, almost 27, 26. Yeah. Oh,
young.
Yep.
He's,
I mean, these guys will get scooped up though. Eventually, these guys. I mean, there's some really good names out there. So, yeah.
So this isn't updated. Okay.
All right. So is that it? Or is you want to go through anything else? I think that's about it, right? I mean, those are the main things we're kind of looking for right now. All right. Cool.
One draft where he didn't move at all. No, I think he moves every draft. Yeah.
All right, Mikey. So you got anything else for the audience out there?
No, appreciate you. Hopefully come Friday we'll have some more moves or something, more in depth to talk about. If not, Tommy will be here to ride with you guys. I'll be back Monday. Yep. So I think Monday what we'll do, Tommy, is let's go through some around the league mock drafts and see what people are.
Yeah, that's right.
The Bills.
Yeah, we were going to do that tonight, guys, but we're running out of time. Mikey has to be somewhere, and we're going to cut it a little short tonight. But we'll do that Monday, like Mikey said. We'll go through over just different type of mock drafts that different places have put together. So, but anyways, I'll be back Friday at 8 this time, not 10. Sorry, I ran late this past Friday.
Yeah, that worked out because I was able to join you.
Yeah, it did. Sunday, guys. I know I'm doing a 17-week series. I got called into work though, but after that it will be every Sunday. So I'll have to skip this Sunday, but moving forward, every Sunday at 1:00. So, all right, guys, Bills Mafia, man, we love you. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. We're out of here. Go Bills. Peace.
Go Bills.
That's right.